Hey guys, welcome to today's, hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. What's going on out there? Hope everybody's having a great Eviction Thursday. We've got a lot to talk about today. And our house guests of the day are Michael Lum and Jason Morelez. Thank you all so much for the support. We couldn't do this without you, and we really, really do appreciate it. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Michael and Jason, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right. Hey, everybody coming in. What's up? I also want to thank... it's your first live. Welcome. I also want to thank all of our super chatters from yesterday. You guys are the realest. And we could not do this without you. We've got Jim Miller, Books and Quirks, Lori Lyon, Rachel McClung. Thank you all so much. We've also got Jefferson Tucker, The Life of Farah. I messed up this name yesterday, but now I know how to say... Wait, no, I don't know how to say it. Clandestine, right? I think I said clandestine yesterday. I'm stupid. So thank you to Clandestine. We've got NM1000, Shanna Holder, Mike D, Julie Smith and Nene, Brant Phillips, and Fruit Loop Dingus. Thank you all so much. We really, really do appreciate it. So let's get started because we've got a lot to talk about. All right. When we left off yesterday, Nicole snapped at Janelle. If you haven't already seen it or heard about it, make sure you check out the end of yesterday's spoiler. It was like right at the end of the spoiler. So if you don't want to watch the whole gargantuan spoiler, make sure you watch the end of the last one. So basically, I'm not going to rehash the whole thing right now because we've got so many other things to discuss. But basically, Nicole was trying to call out Janelle for not doing enough to keep her safe this week. And she was also accusing Janelle of not caring about her. It just seems so crazy. And like, Nicole did not want to take responsibility for where she is now in the game, like this predicament that she's in. And she was trying to pass off all the blame onto Janelle and Kaysar when they really were doing everything in their power to keep her safe and keep her off the block this week. So I did go back and watch the confrontation again. And really it wasn't like a huge thing. Nicole wasn't even yelling. Janelle was very calm throughout the whole thing, but Nicole wasn't even at like yelling level. And it was funny though, because I watched it on the quad cam the second time, and you have Nicole and Janelle on two cameras, and then the other cameras, it was like Cody and a few other people hanging out. And as Nicole was walking out of the room away from Janelle, on the other side, Cody's like, do, 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 singing the BB theme, and it was hilarious. So anyway, after the confrontation, Nicole was in the bathroom area with Christmas, and Christmas does not know what was happening with Nicole and Janelle. Nobody else was in the room for that, and it wasn't that loud that like other people were hearing it. So Christmas is like, okay, I have a question for you. What if you let people know that you're willing to do a house meeting? And Nicole says, I just yelled at Janelle, and I am fuming. I wouldn't call it yelling. Okay, I wouldn't call it yelling. It was not. So Nicole says she's kind of worried that a house meeting at this point would blow up on her and she wouldn't get any votes. Because let's face it, as much as she's been hating on Kaysar and Janelle this week, she knows she still needs their votes to stay. So she says whether it's intentional or not, Janelle effed me from all angles. Okay. So then Nicole was talking to Cody in the lounge. She was telling him all about the conversation with Janelle. And Cody tells Nicole, if you stay this week, Janelle and Kaysar are not even close to the reason why you would stay. Oh. He says their whole thing this week is to try and split the vote. They're trying to split the house. This whole thing is ridiculous. Cody says it's going to be a unanimous vote in either direction. You heard? So then Nicole and Cody are agreeing that it's not Memphis's fault that Nicole is up on the block this week. What the F? Is he not the HOH? Did he not put her up on the block? So they agree it's Janelle and Kaysar's fault for making promises that they couldn't keep to Nicole this week. I just, like, don't get it. What? So then Janelle was talking to Bailey on the Sky Bridge a little while later, and Janelle says, Nicole is definitely mad at me. She blames me for her getting nominated this week, and she says Nicole doesn't believe me, that I've been trying to help her all week. And she's like, do you realize that I've said great things about you to try and get you not nominated? So Nicole is like completely off this week. So Janelle's like, yeah, she told me that I didn't try hard enough to keep her off the block. And Janelle is just like exasperated at this point. She's just like in disbelief that this all went down. So she says, yeah, Nicole's really pissed at me and it sucks. And it's like she's blaming me for everything. So then Bailey, by the way, does not seem like super shocked about this conversation, which I feel like Janelle probably should have picked up on, because when Janelle has said things to Bailey in the past that have been like new information to her, Bailey is very expressive with her face. Like, I remember Bailey being like, but like hearing this information about Nicole being like disappointed in Janelle and Kaysar and blaming everything on them, Bailey's just like, yeah, So like obviously she's been hearing all of this all week and hasn't told Janelle about it. So I don't know if Janelle like picked up on that or not, but it's a pretty stark contrast. But anyway, Bailey says, everybody's been linking you and Kaysar with Memphis this week. So she probably thinks that you like went up to that HOH room and like sold her out and told Memphis to put you up on the block, or to put Nicole up on the block. And she was misled to think that she wouldn't go up on the block because you guys are friends with Memphis. And that's like why she didn't play in the safety suite competition. All right. So then Janelle's like, I can't control Memphis. He is not working with me. I can't make him do anything. So then later, Janelle is in the key bedroom with Nicole and Kevin, and it's super awkward. So they're talking about the votes, and they're all agreeing, like, they really hope that Day is going to decide to cast her vote. Really? They really hope that Day is going to cast her vote based on game and not on morals. Every time we're filming or trying to stream. Because Day has been very conflicted this week. She doesn't have a real, like, game relationship with David. I mean, she's supposed to be in a final 3 with him, with Bay, but she's also in a final 3 with Nicole and Kevin. And yeah, we have a house phone. Who even has a house phone anymore? We do. But Day has been struggling because she doesn't want to vote out one of the 3 Black house kiss this season. She doesn't want to do it. But she's also like, David doesn't help my game at all. So they're kind of like, wow, I really hope that Day is going to make a game-based decision. Thank you, Anita, for the super chat. I'm going to thank everybody all together at the end like I've been doing. All right. So Janelle says our group really needs to pull it together right now and all vote together or we're effed. Like, we're going to be screwed if we can't get this going here. So eventually Kevin leaves the room and Nicole and Janelle are chatting alone. So Janelle's encouraging her, do not give up. Just stay positive. And Nicole's saying, I don't know who to believe. Who is with me? Who's against me? Like, I don't know any of these things. And Janelle's like, stop. Like, all of these things. Who's with you and who's against you. I don't think she does. So Nicole says, I just don't understand why I'm even up on the block in the first place. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And Janelle says, I don't think Memphis is very good at this game. And like, for real though, I don't think he is either, but Janelle is definitely missing an important piece of information here. Memphis is working with the other side. That is why he doesn't want to do anything that you and Kaysar are telling him to do. So, and like he's saying he doesn't want to join an alliance because he already has one. This is David Bowie on my shirt. Okay, it just caught my eye in the chat. So then, Nicole was like, you don't have more of an influence on Memphis? Like, what happened? And Janelle's like, no. Then she's talking about how she tried so hard to get Memphis to use the power veto on Nicole. And she says Memphis was like a bear. He was getting upset and angry. So Nicole says she feels like she was set up this week. And Janelle says, oh my God, that was never the case. Like, nobody was trying to set you up. Not me, not Kaysar. Like, we would never do that. So then Nicole is saying that she doesn't understand why Memphis won't bother with her. You know, she saw that Janelle split that bottle of wine with Memphis and they hung out for like 2 hours, but you know, Memphis doesn't want to give Nicole the time of day. Like, oh my God, there was this one time in particular, I remember, when Nicole was hanging out on like the Sky Bridge and Memphis was walking by to get into the HOH room, and she was like, look at my nails, I got like glitter or rhinestones or whatever. And Memphis was just like, what? And then he like walked by and didn't really say anything. It was like really awkward. So yeah, he's definitely not a Nicole fan. But Nicole was talking about how she feels like she's expendable to everyone, and it's very discouraging. And Janelle's like, you're not expendable to me. I've been trying so hard to keep you this week. And then she's saying, I guess Memphis just didn't want to make waves. He didn't want to get any blood on his hands. So he just tried to like come up with some like easy noms. You know, he didn't want to go after any like huge players or make big moves. So Nicole's like, well, why am I not waves? Why am I not blood on someone's hands? Why are people not afraid of me? It's like I'm an effing joke. It's embarrassing. So yeah, Janelle says you're not a joke, and Nicole admits something. Like, this is a big deal. Nicole tells Janelle, I've been vocalizing to everyone this week that I'm pissed at you and Kaysar. Yikes. You know, she didn't want other people to be the ones telling Janelle and Kaysar that. Honestly, it's crazy that they haven't already found out. But like I said yesterday, that just goes to show you that it's them against the house. Like, no one is going to give Janelle and Kaysar that information. So anyway, Janelle says, all right, well, you've got no reason to be mad at me because I'm on your side. I'm working for you. And she says, you know, she starts talking about all the different ways that she's stuck her neck out for Nicole this week. And Nicole's like, well, everybody's been telling me that this was all your master plan to get rid of me. Yeah, because they all hate Janelle and Kaysar. They're all trying to get rid of them. So, of course, they're going to be like, yep, this is their fault. So Janelle's like, that's crazy. She doesn't get why everyone thinks that she's with Memphis, because that is definitely not the case. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would he put up her friend if she's working with him? So then Nicole was saying that she feels like she's not going to be able to get the votes because Day doesn't want to vote out David. And let's not forget, like, Christmas, Bailey, and Memphis also are not going to be keeping Nicole, but she doesn't realize that at this point. She feels like it's like all coming down to Davon. So Janelle, again, is still encouraging her to remain positive. It's going to be okay. We're going to make it work, and you're not going to go this week. Meanwhile, we've got Tyler and Cody with a little game chat in the lounge. So Cody says that Day is overplaying her hand again. We've seen it her first 2 times on. She gets information, she tells the wrong people, and she's just doing too much, and she gets in trouble. So Cody says that Day is now going around saying that there's an all guys alliance, and she's trying to flip the vote to keep Nicole, and they can't have that. And yes, she, you know, got this information from David that there's a guys alliance because David doesn't realize what that actually means, and he wouldn't tell her who's in it. So now she's feeling like she can't trust him, and she went and told Nicole F. Nicole F. Told Danny, and then both of them together told Tyler and Cody. So now Day is on their shit list. So Tyler says, I told David that Day is trying to flip the vote. And David doesn't believe it. You know, he thinks that he's got something special going on with Day and Bailey, and that's going to overpower any of this game stuff. It's interesting because I don't think Day is actually trying to flip the vote, but she's definitely causing a lot of drama, talking about it so much and leading Nicole to think that it's possible that she'd vote to keep her, but I don't think she really is going to. So that's freaking a lot of people out. But Tyler and Cody agree they do not trust Day anymore. Tyler also says that he doesn't trust Danny either. Right? But Cody is trying to vouch for Danny because Cody gets a ton of information from her. He was pretty sketched out by some of the stuff that she's been doing, but at the same time, Cody definitely wants to keep Danny around for as long as he can, I think. So Cody says he's going to be going after Janelle and Kaysar. First things first, of course. But after that, he's going for Day and Bailey. Oh, snap. I guess Connect 4 is over. Ooh. So a little while later, Kaysar is talking to Nicole in the key bedroom. And it's a very calm conversation. Kaysar just is so good at this. So Kaysar says to Nicole, I think you're misreading the situation. Nicole is going through her whole thing about how they told her that she was good. She didn't think she'd have to play in the safety suite. She didn't think that Memphis was going to put her up. Blah, 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 blah. And Kaysar says that he and Janelle pushed so hard with Memphis that Memphis was like pissed at them. And they were worried that he might turn around and put one of them up on the block. So like they were really working hard for her. So Kaysar says this whole week has been a disaster. It's been pretty bad. But Kaysar says in all the years that he's known Janelle, he has never seen her cry until the other day. Janelle was crying because the amount of guilt that they were feeling for Nicole being in this situation. You know, they wanted to protect her. They just couldn't pull it off. And they had no control over the nominations. They were also blindsided by Memphis. What? Jolene is here. What's up, girl? Thank you so much for coming. If you guys are not already subscribed to Jolene Lunzer, check her out because she's amazing. But anyway, yeah, they said they were also blindsided by Memphis's nominations, and he did not listen to them. So they are not close to him like people think they are. Or think they are. So Kaysar says, I've been campaigning all week for you. It's not over. And we are fighting like hell for you to stay. He also talks about how he's been working on Day. He's been trying to get her vote. And it got heated with Day. You know, he's working really hard, but it's just not happening. So then Nicole is crying and she's like, I'm going to have to go home and tell my family that joke, that was my game. And Kaysar's telling her, it's not over yet. You know, you just got to keep working, keep staying positive. So then Nicole admits that this is like what she told Janelle before. She admits that she's been telling everyone that she's angry with Janelle and Kaysar, but like in reality, she said way worse than that. It wasn't just like, I'm really angry at Janelle and Kaysar for what they did to me this week, which was nothing but goodness. Yeah, she was saying some really awful things about Janelle and Kaysar, actually. But she says, I really believed that you guys screwed me over. Now she feels horrible about it. She says her gut and her intuition are just shot at this point. So Kaysar's like, all right, I don't care about any of that, about anything that you said. It's okay. He says, hopefully you didn't say anything that's going to put our games in jeopardy or undo what we've been working on to save you this week. About that, she has. But Kaysar says, I don't take any of that stuff personally. It's all right. And he says, I still want to work with you and save you this week. So Kaysar's the best. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Kaysar is the best. So he tells Nicole, do not underestimate the amount of pressure that you have incurred from being on just last season and coming back so soon. Yes. 100%, right? Like it was too soon for her to come back. So Janelle and Kaysar would know they did the exact same thing. They were both on season 6, and then they came back the following summer for the first All-Star season. So Kaysar says, you're carrying a lot of that with you. And Nicole says, yeah, I feel like that has really influenced how I reacted to things. It's really messing me up. So Kaysar says, it's okay. You probably didn't even realize how it all affected you until now. It is not your fault. Oh, so Nicole says that she thinks it was too soon for her to come back. That's so sad. So then Kaysar was telling her about his own experience going from season 6 to season 7. He said it was, he didn't have time to process everything that he went through, and it affected his game in All Stars. So then he's giving her a pep talk and telling her, no matter how hard it gets in here, if you're going to do something, you need to get your head in it and do it wholeheartedly, because you're always going to regret not giving it 100%. Oh, he's just the best. Oh my God. And he's so right. Like, it's such a great comparison because he's been through this pretty much exact situation. So he's like a therapist, a motivational speaker, and an absolute legend. We love Kaysar. Okay, so Nicole has these great conversations with Kaysar and Janelle. Amazing, wonderful, one of a kind, stunning, like that Lady Gaga meme. And then Nicole talks to Kevin. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. She tells him, I spoke to Janelle and Kaysar. I was upfront with both of them. I let them know how I felt and that I was talking shit. And she says she felt like they were shocked and hurt to find out that she was feeling that way. So she says she's going to feel really guilty if she gets out of this house and finds out that they really didn't know that she was going up on the block and that they've been fighting for her. She says, I trashed them to everybody. And I gotta say, as painful as it was to watch Nicole this week, and like the bad reads and all the mistakes, and see her like trashing Janelle and Kaysar, I really do think it's because she's just like not had the time to process what she went through last season. So she immediately jumped to the conclusion, like, these people are not helping me. These people are not my friends. These people are trying to manipulate me. And I really hope that she's not going to have a hard time after she goes back home. Like, I hope everybody's going to be understanding on social media, because this is a game. It's just a game. But Kevin says, I think it's a very valid and understandable perspective that you were like freaking out and like thinking that they were coming after you. Oh my God. Of course Kevin would say that. So he's like, why didn't they tell you that they were trying to help you before? Why didn't they tell you before they saw you were crying? They did. They've been telling her all week. Oh my God. So he says, something's not adding up. Kevin, just stop because you're ruining it. Okay. So Nicole then goes and talks to Day again about the votes. And she's telling Day, like, she's going back to the whole, David told me like right after the veto that he's got the votes to stay this week. So she suspects that David is part of a huge alliance. Like, why else would he know that early in the week that he's got votes? So Day is like, yeah, I think he is part of some sort of alliance, but she thinks it's like a 4-person alliance, not some gigantic one. And she's right about that, because David is not in with like any of those big 6-person alliances or anything. He is close to, or like sort of close to, Tyler. And then he's got something supposedly going with like Tyler, Enzo, and Cody. But yeah, he's not in any of those big groups. But they are not sure exactly what he's doing, because he will not be honest with Day and say who's in his alliance. So that's super sketchy. But Nicole keeps pushing that Day is supposed to be in a final 3 with her and Kevin. And she says, I talked to Janelle and Kaysar. They're both still voting to keep me. They've been like really cool about it or whatever. And Day says, yeah, Janelle and Kaysar do genuinely want to keep you, but not like for you. It's for the numbers. Damn, that is harsh. And it's not even true. Like, they do genuinely like Nicole and they want to keep her around. So, yeah, the campaigning with Day is not really working. Ugh. So then Cody, back to him. He's telling all of his people he's done with Day. He's talking to Enzo, then Danny and Nicole F, and or Pharmacol, right, Jolene? So he says that Day is always whispering with Janelle, and she never brings back any information. Like, what's the deal with that? We're supposed to be working together. Why is she not telling us what our enemy is saying? So Cody and Danny agree if they win HOH, of course, they're going to be putting up Janelle and Kaysar. And if one of them comes down with a veto, they're going to put up Day. So they say. What? That would be freaking crazy. So Nicole is thinking a little differently. She says she would put up Bailey instead of Davon. She says it's because she wants to ensure that Janelle or Kaysar would be leaving. But I think it's also because Nicole F knows that she effed up with Day on season 18. So she's got to clean all that up. You know, she doesn't want to be that jerk that screwed Day over twice. So they also agree that Bailey brings them more information, even though she's like outwardly closer to Janelle than Day is. Okay. So then they were talking about slop choices for next week because, the have-nots get to pick the new have-nots for the following week. So Nicole F will be one of those people picking, and all week she's been like, I'm gonna pick Janelle to be a have-not, and it's gonna be so hilarious, and I can't wait. So she's planning on picking Janelle, but then they're like, oh man, what if Kaysar gets to pick first and he picks Janelle just so that you can't do it? Oh my God. So they're all bummed that that's a possibility. They're gonna see what happens, but they're just happy also that Janelle is going to be have-not at all. Okay. I mean, aren't they just going to pretty much cycle through who hasn't been a have-not yet? Right? I don't know. So then Nicole pulls Memphis aside to chat for like literally 2 seconds. It was so sad. She says, you know what? It's looking like the vote could potentially be a tie. And you told me that I should give you a heads up if that's the case. So here I am giving you a heads up. I don't think it's going to be a tie, but so she tells Memphis, I think you know where I stand with you. Like, I'm not going to come after you. That's what she meant. But she says certain people have said certain things about coming after you, like David saying that he would target Memphis. So she says, I'm not a big physical threat. I'm not a big threat at all. And Memphis says, all right, well, we'll see what happens. And that's what you missed on Glee. Like, it felt like the beginning of an episode of Glee. It was so short. It seems like it's going to be a no from Memphis, and he's going to keep David if there's a tie. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be a tie. So anyway, Nicole continues to campaign. She talks to Day again, and now she's telling Day, would it make you feel better if I could get all of my potential 6 voters together in one room and we could all confirm together that you guys are keeping me? And Day is like, no. Like, she does not want that, doesn't want to do it. She feels like everyone would be looking at her to see like how she wants to vote, and then they would be making their decisions based on that, and she does not want to do that. So she's telling Nicole, you should work on Ian. And she's telling her, lie if you have to. This is Big Brother. Like, you're allowed to lie. And you should tell him that you have 6 votes and he would be your 7th. See if that helps at all. See if that changes his mind. So then Nicole goes and talks to Ian in the key bedroom. And Ian's like, do you think it's going to be close? Like, how are you feeling? And Nicole's like, can I have your vote? She says, you would be my 7th vote and you could help me avoid a tie. That's not true. But she's going with the lie. She's working with it. She's seeing what she can do. So Ian's thinking, well, let's see. If it was a tie, you would probably stay, right? Nicole says, yeah, I think so. So also, Nicole has some bad information here because Memphis has been telling Janelle and Kaysar that he would keep Nicole if the vote is a tie, which he hasn't been saying the same thing to his crew. So I tend to believe that he's going to be more real with his crew than he is with Janelle and Kaysar. But he does not want a tied vote at all. So he is not counting on that actually happening. But Ian's like, wow, I was not prepared for this. I didn't think that this vote was going to be this close. So he's like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was leaning towards keeping David, but this split vote could change things. He even gives her some numbers. He says, I was 66% sure that I was going to vote to keep David, but now I'm more like mid 50s. So, okay. I appreciate Ian's honesty. I really do. And I love that he put it that way. I mean, right? Numbers really help. That gives you a better picture and better idea of what he's thinking. But Nicole is like, okay, well, if you do vote to keep me, I will help you out. I will give you my +1 if I win the safety suite competition next week. And Ian's like, oh, that's nice too. So he agrees, like, let's talk more about it. I just, need some time to think and process it and everything. So then a little while later, Janelle also talked to Ian. And she kind of like contradicted what Nicole was telling him because she was like, I don't think she's got 6 votes. She was telling Ian, like, we really need you. We really need your vote. So Ian basically was like, I want to work with you and Kaysar, but I don't know that I can vote with you this time. I just don't know if it's going to be possible for me. Yeah. But he also told Janelle, like, if he wins HOH, he is not going to be putting up her or Kaysar. What? I want to know who Ian's going to put up. I want to know. So that was an interesting conversation. But moving on, at midnight last night, the house guests are celebrating the have-nots getting to eat again. They're also celebrating Danny's birthday, which is today. So happy birthday to Danny. And she was a moshi because it's also her daughter's birthday and she's really missing her. Isn't that crazy? They have the same birthday. So happy birthday to Tennessee as well. But later, back to the game, because we got an eviction coming up. Janelle was campaigning today for Nicole. And Day says, you know what? I just don't see Nicole staying. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. The votes are not solid. They're not locked in. And Janelle says, yeah, they are. Christmas is solid. Yeah, for David to stay. Ugh. So Day is like, all right, hear me out. Even if Nicole does go this week, we could still work together. It could still be me, you, Kaysar, Bailey, Christmas, Kevin. We could still have 6. No. But Janelle says, that's awesome, but we need the numbers. We need the numbers for this crapshoot HOH that's coming up because they already got to practice yesterday and it looks like it's going to be one of those crapshoot ones. So whichever side has more numbers obviously is going to have an advantage in that kind of competition. So she says David is working with the other side. He's working with the guys. So he is not going to be a number for us. We have a better chance of being safe if we keep Nicole and she can play in this competition too. So then they go back to the votes, talking about who's solid. And Day asks, is Bailey locked in? And Bailey is right there, like in the bathroom area with them. And Janelle's like, yeah. And Bailey is pissed. Oh my God. So Bailey goes to the comic bedroom. A few minutes later, Day goes in there to talk to her. And yeah, Bailey is pissed that Janelle keeps telling people that her vote is a lock for Nicole to stay. So she's like, I told Janelle multiple times, do not mention my name to other people unless you actually have the other votes locked in and this is like actually going to be happening. She says she doesn't want Janelle using her name to get other people to do something. Also, Bailey is not happy that she is being associated with Janelle. She feels like it's really hurting her game, and she doesn't want the same thing that happened to Nicole to happen to her. But like, that's not even like 100% what happened. So, you know. But anyway, Day says, I asked Janelle while you were in the room if you were a lock or not, so that you could hear for yourself what she's been telling other people. And Bailey was like, yes, I appreciate that. Amazing. So then a few minutes later, Janelle comes in and she's like, I didn't mean to piss you off. And Bailey says, well, people have been coming up to me and asking if I'm targeting them because I'm close to you. Like Nicole F. She didn't want to name names, but earlier she said like Nicole F approached her, and yeah, she was not happy about that. So Janelle's like, I'm so sorry that happened. Like, that's really messed up. Bailey says that she's also frustrated that people are asking her how she's voting so that they can then base their decision on that, like Day and Christmas and stuff like that. So I just want to mention too, Bailey has definitely been trying to distance herself from Janelle in the game. She just does not want to go down that road. So a little while later, this is getting crazy, guys. A little while later, Nicole has all of her 6 potential votes in the lounge. And this is exactly what Day did not want to happen, but she gets dragged in there. So we've got Janelle, Kaysar, Kevin, Bailey, Christmas, and Day. Christmas Day. Yeah, and obviously Nicole is in there as well. So Kaysar is saying, as much as he loves David, they really need to keep Nicole this week because we need numbers. We can't let the other side pick us off one by one. And Janelle's like, it's freaking All-Stars. I don't want them laughing at us. Like, we need to do this. So Kaysar says this vote is going to cause a chain reaction. Like, this vote could affect how the rest of the season plays out. So he's saying we need the numbers going into this crapshoot HOH. So then Nicole's like, I got something to say. She says, I will repay anyone who gives me a vote. She also offers herself up as a pawn. She's like, if the other side of the house wins HOH, you can suggest me as a nomination. And like, would they listen to that? I really doubt it, but you never know. So it's a nice thing to say, you know? So then Bailey asks Nicole, has Memphis confirmed to you, not to anyone else, but to you, that he would break a tie in your favor? Nicole says, well, it was kind of weird because I did talk to him today and he told me that we'll see what happens. That's not a good sign. But Janelle's like, oh, well, I talked to Memphis and he told me that he would vote out David. So then everybody else starts comparing what Memphis has said to them about a potential tie. And they're like, well, he told us that he doesn't care. And he was just going to do like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. So now they start questioning, why is Memphis giving Janelle and Kaysar answers and nobody else? Like, are you working with him? Like, what's the deal with that? And they're like, no, we're not. So yeah, they're pretty weirded out by that. And Day says, you know what? The foundation of this whole like potential alliance is really shaky. And Kevin agrees. He doesn't like how it came together. He was left out of conversations earlier, which he knows because, of course, like Nicole was blabbing to him, like, Janelle's trying to put together this alliance to keep me, but is she really? And she told me not to tell you about it. So yeah, Kevin knows that he was left out before. So with all this going on, Kaysar is asking, like, can we get a commitment here? Can we lock it in right now that we're gonna work together and that we're all gonna keep Nicole this week? So no, everyone is still hung up on what Memphis would do if there is a tie, because let's look at this. Say it is 6 versus 6 and Memphis decides to keep David, which I think he would. That's going to make the other 6 look really bad with David still in the house. And he's going to be like, wow, so you didn't vote for me. Plus, Christmas is in the other alliance. Like, they are missing that huge piece of information. Christmas is not with them for real. She is not a free agent like they think she is. So after Kaysar and Janelle decide, like, we've talked about this enough right now, we'll check in at a later time, whatever. So they leave the room. And everybody else in there basically tells Nicole it's over. They do not want to stick their necks out like this. They don't want to be associated with Janelle and Kaysar. Yikes. So Nicole's like, great, well, I guess that's it. I'm freaking done now. Yeah, that sucks. So then after that, Bailey goes to the photo bedroom. And of course, she spills about the meeting to Tyler, Danny, Enzo, and Cody. Cool. And Bailey says they were saying that if our group like doesn't band together right now, then you guys are going to target me and Day next. And she says, like, that's ridiculous. But, like, it's true because after this side of the house goes after Janelle and Kaysar, they've already been saying they're going to be targeting Day and Bailey. So it's 100% true. So Bailey's like, well, it's not happening. I'm not voting David out. You know, like, this plan is not going to happen. And this alliance is not happening. All right, so this morning, Christmas was telling Memphis and Nicole F about the meeting, blah, 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 blah. And then Nicole was still trying to campaign, and it's just not coming together. People do not want to commit their votes to her. They don't want to be associated with Janelle and Kaysar, and they know the votes aren't there. So Nicole was crying. It was sad. People were trying to comfort her, and she's saying she just wants to go home. So tonight is eviction night, and unless something crazy happens, Nicole will be going. Hello there. Oh, hello. Hello-sies. Nicole will be going.
Drunk history?
Yeah. I just saw that drunk history got canceled.
No.
I know. But anyway.
What's Derek Waters going to do now?
I'm sure I'll come up with something else. But Nicole, I don't think it's going to be a unanimous vote. I think Nicole will still get votes potentially from Janelle, Kaysar, and possibly Kevin as well, because I'm pretty sure Janelle told her, like, I'm going to vote for you no matter what. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I'm really curious who's going to win this next HOH. I think you know who I'm rooting for, so let me know who you guys are rooting for. Janelle and Kaysar, right?
I missed that one.
Oh. How do I?
Yeah.
There we go. Christine. So I want to know from you guys who you're rooting for. Yes, of course. Who you're rooting for in this next HOH competition and who you want to see up on the block next week. Next week, meaning tomorrow. And also remember, and we also have Chris here, Chris Carlberg. Also remember that this coming week is the final week for the Safety Suite competition. So 2 people will be safe. Okay, so I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching and hanging out.
The note has been written and placed on your lap.
I also want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are so freaking awesome.
Freaking great.
Yeah. So Anita Starr, thank you so much. I see Anita popping up on here
like every day.
You're amazing. Night of Light, thank you so much. Is this Daryl?
Yes.
Can you read that? Because there's like a little cross out there.
That was Daryl Manabusen.
Daryl Manabusen, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Annie Tenney, thank you so much. And Annie Tenney is asking, was the question, do I think Nicole
is going to be in a battle
back? I was thinking that, but then people were saying that Keisha's at home. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if it's true, but Janelle seems pretty convinced that there's going to be a battle back.
Are they thinking that she was just at home because she went back to the rented house that they had?
I mean, that's possible.
Like home?
It's possible, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not really sure. Oh, good. Daryl says we pronounced his name right. I'm so glad because I mispronounced so many people's names.
Yes, Dustin.
Yeah. So Annie, thank you so much. I think it is possible that there could be a battle back. I feel like it would make more sense though to do it for jury, but
I think they want these celebs or everyone else to get as much face time as possible because they're paying a lot of money for them.
$40,000. What? Okay. Yeah, right. I want to thank Jolene Lunzer. Jolene, thank you so much.
Jolene.
I got so excited when I saw you pop up in the chat. You are amazing.
She's a legend.
We love your shows. And a lot of times we are watching your shows, but we're too lazy to get like a laptop. So we're watching it on our TV where we can't really like comment, but just know like we're watching and we're enjoying.
Effing Apple TV.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Seriously. Also, Brianna Trosclair, thank you so much. Brant Phillips, who I see in here all the time, thank you. Indie Girl, thank you so much. Julie Smith, a legend. Julie Smith and Nini, thank you. Christine, thank you so much. And Chris Carlberg,
who looks like Kristen.
Really? Oh, you look like my sister. That's so funny. And thank you to Chris Carlberg so much. You guys are awesome.
Guys, you're amazing.
Yeah, and I also want to take the opportunity, to give shout outs to all of our fellow amazing Big Brother YouTubers and podcasters. So of course, Jolene Lunzer. We've got Busy Blue. We've got Miranda, aka Honestly Honecker, Carter Matt, Metro D. I should do this like in a certain order so I don't forget.
I know.
Or write it down.
I know
I'm missing someone. Nerdtainment.
TV Talks with Tom.
TV Talks with Tom. Like, you guys are all rock stars.
You are rock stars.
Yeah.
This is not an easy season.
It's not. I mean, has there ever been an easy season?
Wow.
I don't know. And yes, of course, Rob has a podcast. You guys all know Rob has a podcast. Come on. But seriously, thank you guys all so much. We really appreciate the support. And yeah. Oh, make sure you guys check out, Jolene just put up a video the other night, impressions of like Nicole F and Janelle. It was like a Janelle video and it's hilarious. So
go check it out.
She does the best Janelle impression. Yes. Seriously. Yes. But yeah, we'll see you guys later for the episode recap. So,
and get excited for the puppet show that we haven't written yet.
Yay! Can't wait to stay up and do that later. All right. Bye, guys. Until next time.
You're awesome.
Much love. Bye.